Y'all, so apparently the Republicans thought if they got rid of the illegals and they put more financial pressure on the black communities and the people of color that are American citizens, that we would want to go in the fields and we would want to basically that we would want to do the work that the previous citizens that hadn't yet to obtain their citizenship would do. Now, hear me out. When the produce immediately changed, at first I was a little annoyed. I live in Arizona for perspective. So yeah, they here. They out here for real. And it hit us immediately. It hit us immediately. Do you hear me? When the produce went bad, at first, and not bad, but like it just was, you could tell. Like you can tell the difference. At first, I was a little annoyed, but then I sat back and was like, nah, actually, no, for real. That's what they need. They need to see that. And it wasn't just the produce. That's the crazy part. It was the produce and so much other shit that immediately like came like a wave through Arizona. They needed that wake up call. I've been staring at a house that has been taking upwards of at least, I want to say 7-8 months to finish. Before they left, I used to watch, because this is where I live at, the whole strip is being developed. I watched them complete an entire development in under a year. I watched them complete an entire development in under a year. For perspective, it's a big ass development too. The entire development was done in under a year. There are houses on this strip in the past 6 months, they just been sitting. I had to stand still. Crickets, where y'all at? When the produce went bad, I was annoyed at first, but then I said, no, they need this wake up call. They need to know the contribution, citizenship or not, that these people actually make to this country. They need to understand that a land that was already built off of stolen land does not give you the right to kick people out when their ancestors were indigenous to this land. You need to understand the contribution and the amount of work that they did the jobs you didn't want to do, that I don't want to do on a daily basis. You also need to understand their contribution. Now, Trump wants to bring them back legally. Because he's like, them niggas is not trying to get out there in the sun. And they not trying to do none of that work. And not. Why? So you can treat us 10 times worse? You going to have to pay to play, baby. You going to have to pay them people to come back here. You going to have to pay them people to come back here. Y'all humiliated them in front of the whole world in the nastiest, most vicious ways. You going to have to pay them people to come back here. Oh, and just so you know, our produce has increased. So I know they let some of y'all back in. I know they let some of them back in. Don't lie. I know they pushed some of them applications through and was like, listen, when can you clock back in? Okay? Everything's going to shit. I bet it is. I bet it is. I bet it is. You need to issue a very public apology. You need to offer them something. Offer them something. Offer them something. Excluding the Cubans that was like, oh my God, I vote for Donald Trump. Lead them out. They wasn't doing no work, no way. They wasn't doing no work, no motherfucking way. They think that they white. Lead them out. But yeah, y'all, Donald Trump said that because the black people don't want to do the jobs that the illegal citizens that they deported, because they don't want to do those jobs, they gonna have to let some people back in. Y'all, they built Alligator Alcatraz without even so much as thinking about. And now that I think about it, I don't think that they're gonna let them back in without putting them through like a Squid Games kind of situation. Let me know what y'all think. Am I the only one that's clocking tea? Because you just built Alligator Alcatraz. And there has been a 60-minute video about you dumping people's bodies in the ocean. and bodies washing up along the shore. So I don't know. Maybe you should have thought this one through.
So this means that the Republicans are regretting the deportation plan that has been going on. I mean, why are they calling on the black people to come and do the jobs? Why? Because the last time I checked, the black people are not the one that sent them to start deporting people. So right now they are not suggesting that the black people should start doing the work that those immigrants, especially those people that are yet to be documented, the job that they are supposed to do, that the black people should start doing them. Oh my goodness, like, I mean, do the black people tell you guys that they are searching for a work? And even if they are searching for work, did they tell you guys that the jobs that they will be doing is those minor jobs, those immigrant jobs? Because specifically, the immigrant has their own jobs. There are jobs that the immigrants are qualified for. Let's say like the farming, the caretaker, the cleaning of the road, how housing care, things like that. Like these are the jobs that the immigrants do. Because I know that they wouldn't give the immigrant chance to be in a government office or any big office. So it's all these minor jobs, hard works, the construction company. That is the job that the immigrants do. So the black people did not tell you guys that they are searching for work. And even if they are searching for work, it's not those kind of jobs. So why are they calling on the black community? I don't get it.
Governor Abbott, my name is Sharon Hyatt. I'm not a native Texan. I wasn't born here. But I've loved this state. I've lived in it for 23 years. I've raised 2 sons in the state who are native Texans and very proud of it. And I have to tell you, I'm not very happy with you right now. And I really want you out of office. I started thinking about the last 10 years that you've been in the service to Texas as governor. And yes, it is service to the people of Texas as our governor. We put you there and we can take you out. We can remove you from office just as easily as we put you in. You are not king of Texas. And even though you have ties, quite frankly, to Donald Trump that probably go way deeper than we know about, because you two are, quite frankly, I'd say maybe scratching each other's backs right now. You've done really terrible things to this state. First of all, since you've come into office 10 years, the state has become more divided. Now, some of that can be blamed on Trump, but a lot of it's just you. You've acted with authority that was not given to you, but was taken by you. Putting in those terrible wires and barrels along the Rio Grande River and making sure that people actually died trying to cross into Texas. I'm sure there's people out there that applaud you for that, but I think you're a barbarian. You have no compassion for a man who sits in a wheelchair. You couldn't care less about other people who are needy and have disabilities. You've taken funding away from mental health and from students with disabilities. You've actually destroyed a woman's right to autonomy over her body in the state of Texas. And you don't care if they die or get maimed and can't have kids. You don't care that people try to leave the state to get the abortion, life-saving abortion they need. You don't care. All you care about is your power, what you think is right, your friends. Somehow or other, you have chosen along the way to become corrupt, immoral, and to not uphold the democracy or the republic. And for some reason, you think that's okay and nobody's going to call you out, but we're calling you out. And there's a large faction of us. We're not about being Democratic. We're not about just being Republican. What we're about is what's right and what's wrong. And you're what's wrong right now. The final straw for me was this redistricting. I was sitting there feeling sick to my stomach when people weren't getting what they needed after the floods. But then when you turned it into a political shenanigans and tried to blame the Democratic lawmakers who are being forced to leave the state so they can uphold democracy and not allow the state of Texas to do something corrupt in redistricting the maps so they can cheat to get Donald Trump more votes, that was it for me. That's the end. You don't deserve to be governor of this great state, and there's a large faction of us who are going to make sure you're not governor anymore. We're going to make sure you're voted out next time. We're going to make sure somebody more centrist is voted in, somebody who will listen to their constituents and somebody who believes in the power of democracy. I hope you get to see this. I really do.
Hey guys, Barron Trump just posted on X, and it's like, this guy's a genius. I want to read this to you, okay? Listen to what he says. Everyone who knows me sees me as a realist, some even a pessimist. With that in mind, you'll understand the weight of what I'm about to say. I believe that we're on the brink of uncovering a dark legacy in this country that's been hidden for far too long. I truly believe the dam is breaking, and regardless of how it unfolds, real change is coming. Those at the federal and state levels should be preparing to lose sleep. It's about to go mainstream. That's what Barron Trump just posted on X, and this guy's a genius, whether he goes into politics or real estate or, luxury hotels. He's going to do very well. He's got common sense. He's just like Daddy. And everything he just said about those people that are going to be losing sleep is very true. And it might be a dark time, but I always...
Can anyone give me a reason why this is a bad thing that's not rooted in either white supremacy or making the rich richer? Because it would appear, at least in the US, that we can't even take care of the babies, children, adults, and elderly that we already have. What possible reason would there be to start panicking and trying to up the birth rate? There aren't enough homes for everyone to live. There aren't enough jobs for everyone to have. We're running low on resources like food, water, electricity. There are no plans to bring major public transport, and we can only widen the freeways so many times. And thanks to this motherfucker's big beautiful bill, we are losing hospitals and doctors and medical staff. Now, I do think children are wonderful. I have 3 of my own. That said, we had our last in July 2020. Think of what was happening then. I feel like we made it just under the wire, and things have gotten so much worse since then. Also, America is one of the least family-friendly, child-friendly places on the planet. Within the past 6 months, I've had the chance to travel to Japan and Costa Rica with kids and to Netherlands by myself, and America is by far the least family-friendly. We do not prioritize children, we do not prioritize families, we do not make it easy to be a parent. And then that goes all the way through our whole system. Not having maternity care, not having paid time off, not having the health care that you need, having to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just to have a healthy child in a hospital. I'm also about 3 weeks away from finally having my youngest go to public school, but I've been paying almost $1,800 a month for full-time preschool so that my wife and I can both work. This is not the way that we're supposed to be living. If you do know of a reason why we should be panicking and why we should be trying to get the birth rates up, I would love to hear it because I've never heard one and I can't think of one that makes sense.
South Park just went after Donald Trump again in the latest episode of their new season, and Donald is not going to be happy. And they didn't just target Donald Trump, they went after everybody in his administration, including J.D. Vance, who they're now portraying as a little baby with his face that's circulated online.
What is his fantasy, Bob? Hey, will you get out of here?
Their portrayal of Trump and J.D. Vance is just so funny. They also made fun of Charlie Kirk, portraying him as Eric Cartman, and of course, he was the most annoying character in the episode. And of course, they went after Kristi Noem and ICE. How could they not?
You looking for a new career? Why not join the ICE? We have jobs available now with up to a $50,000 signing bonus. Signing bonus? We don't ask for experience. Just show up. We don't care if you've read a book or grown up. If you're crazy or fat and lazy, we don't care at all. I'm proud to work for the ICE.
There's so much more in this episode. Much of it I can't show you because in many of the scenes, Donald Trump is not wearing clothes again and his genitalia is Very, very small. I guarantee that this is going to get under the skin of Trump, JD Vance, and all of MAGA.
I don't like doing this, but every time I talk about this topic on a specific platform, the video gets taken down. So I'm going to speak in code, all right? But I'm going to bring in visual aids, so maybe this can help you understand exactly what's happening. Because I want to talk about the Island Man. Do you remember the Island Man with his plane who unalived in 2019 and a lot of people had questions about it? The Island Man has been in the news again recently because the only person who knows what the Island Man actually did is his girlfriend. And his girlfriend is being questioned right now. And when she was questioned, they asked a lot of questions about the Island Man's best friend. And the thing is about the Island Man's best friend is right now, he is the only man in the entire world that can free the Island Man's girlfriend from prison. She's the only person who is still alive who knows everything that the Island Man did. And we know that these two knew each other because there's so many pictures of them together. And you know what happened? The Island Man, he sent his own personal lawyer down to a new prison after transferring her and asked, hey, do you happen to know if this guy ever did anything illegal, like the things you were convicted for or the things that your dead ex-boyfriend was accused of? And you know what's crazy? They just announced she has never seen this guy do anything illegal. Isn't that convenient? Isn't that special? Maybe it's because she just wants to be freed, or maybe it's because she doesn't want to be removed from the board like her ex-boyfriend of all those years. But here's the part that's fun. The reason why I'm talking in code. Every video that I've made talking about this exact love triangle has been removed, labeled, and struck from the website that I usually post on. And the website I usually post on every 90 days, this guy gets to decide whether or not it's allowed to stay in business in the United States. It's almost as if I don't have enough red string to draw some connections together. It's almost as if, oh, it's all coming together, isn't it, folks? Oh, but that's why I'm selling merch now. That's why I'm selling merch.
Apparently, so the US birth rate is getting low because the women have decided that they want to stand on business. They have decided that they do not want to give birth anymore. And I don't know, I think this is because of the economy, because life in the US is not longer easy. People are striving to survive. People do not even have what to eat. A lot of people are working tirelessly, but still they have nothing to show for it. Look at the healthcare system. Millions of people has also been disqualified for this program. So the women right now are saying that they are done and they don't want to give birth any longer. So guys, let me know what you think about this video in the comment section.